The Bi-Coastal Experience.
Hello, folks. Welcome to the Bi-Coastal Experience. I'm joined today by my lovely partner, Aaron Lipsy.
Hello.
And of course, you know him, you love him. He may or may not have been bounced from the playoffs this week. It's Will Ferraro.
Your boy is so sad.
Your boy.
The saddest boy.
So sad.
Well, it was a hell of a 2 weeks here. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving and watched some of those games and
Gobble.
Yeah, gobble. Yeah, no updates. The updates, I guess, is the trade deadline pass. We'll get into that later. Reminders, we've got 2 games left in the season here. Lots of playoff implications coming up this week. We're going to talk about those. And then let's get right into the trades, because there were 6 trades that happened at the deadline here. And actually, I think Aaron's happened too, and we didn't get to discuss that either. So we can just kind of go through the last 7 trades here. So, yeah, let's start with the first one. Darren Waller for Deontay Johnson. Darren Waller, he's going to get +1 over there, so he's going to stick around in the East for another year. Deontay, he's got the expiring contract.
I already sold him for Jamal Williams, so that was you're welcome, East Coast.
Oh, you flipped him.
Yeah, you're welcome, East Coast. Have fun playing Darren Waller next year.
Yeah.
Well, if he's okay. I mean, he's a 30-year-old guy who broke his hamstring, so I
don't know, man. Is Foster Moreau the future? TBD.
No.
I don't think that's true.
They're probably going to get a rookie.
Next up, we had Jimmy G for Tua, and Jimmy G also came with a second, so it was basically a second for Tua.
And a high second, because Austin is going to be finishing probably top 6.
So it's a solid second for Tua. Tua is he's got the star on him already. He's outgoing, so he will be dropping to the draft unless he gets
Tua
franchised.
Came from me originally. I feel like I have a hand in some of these trades without even meaning
Tua
to.
is a good pickup for Austin coming down the stretch here.
Yes, for the end. Here's the thing: is I actually really don't. I think Tua has a bad end of season schedule. He goes against the Bills,
the 49ers this week.
The Niners. I believe he plays the Cowboys, maybe. I just don't think. I think he has a dicey end of season schedule, but Austin needed the help. Great acquisition for him overall.
I mean, I'm a big believer in, unless it's a defense, I'm a big believer in talent over schedule. And the guy's been so good all year.
Well, I think, but the Bills, he's kind of falling apart a little bit now. But
I will say week 14, when Austin plays me, Tua is going against the weakest defense in the league, in that the Chargers. He is playing the Chargers. They're one of the weakest.
One of the weakest defenses.
And they're playing Tua with Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. So
hot take here: the Chargers are still in the playoff hunt. If I just something in my gut tells me that maybe I just watch too much Chargers because I'm over here in LA. But something tells me that the defense will have to get it together by the end of the season if they're going to actually make the playoffs. So I don't know.
It's that West Coast bias in the media, folks.
Shit no one says.
I had the opposite.
Literally no one has ever said that. The West Coast bias. Next up, we have Joe Mixon, sent from the worst commissioner in the world. It's Will Ferraro, receiving 2 first-round picks.
Love to get the good players out of my division and into your division.
Yeah, I know. That's why I sent Melvin Gordon to the East.
Moving on. Listen, Kellner made me an offer I couldn't refuse. So what am I supposed to do?
I think you should have refused it. Like, that's just my hot take, is that you should have kept Mixon, and I do have a question though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is open collusion okay?
We'll get into that. We'll get into that later.
Never mind.
I told her to text you about this. No, I'm being excused. I was no. We'll get
Me and Adam had a fun little chat.
Not right now. Later. Let's get into the matchups.
Well, this is about Mixon.
All right, fine. Let's get into it right now.
Yeah, I asked Adam to bench Mixon because I was like, "Look, you don't need another win, and I do." And I told Nick, and
she had the audacity
to tell
the commissioner and B, the person who needs Aaron to lose to make the playoffs.
And so Nick got upset with me, and I was like, okay, I don't want this to cause strife in our relationship, so I'm just going to text Adam back and say, you know what, this upset Nick. Please put Joe Mixon back in your lineup.
What is your take on that, Will?
Wait, did he actually bench him?
He benched him and then he put him back in. Yeah.
Yeah, that's collusion. That's not good.
And I asked if open collusion was okay. It's clear. It's collusion between two teams.
Am I allowed to shit on the
Doesn't
floor if
make
I
it
tell
better.
everyone I'm shitting on the floor? Anyway.
Oh, this is what we were doing Sunday. Sorry, I don't mean to.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Anyway,
D&D.
next up we've got Zach and Aaron did a little do here. Zach got
We
Aaron.
always do one of these.
Zach got Aaron's seconds, and Aaron got Zach's 5th and 4th here. And Aaron got Jamal Williams, an outgoing player.
Wait, why does it say Lipsy 23 second and 23 second? I said a 24.
24 second? That's
Probably
I
a
do-
typo.
I do trade with Zach every year, I believe, and
I
it's
love that
either-
for him. You?
And I think I get the better. I think the first trade was bad. The Derrick Henry for Julian Edelman was bad, but then I gave him Logan Thomas, and he gave me Cole Beasley, which was okay. And then this trade, and then I think something else.
I don't know.
But yeah, I always Zach and I are trade buddies.
Aaron
whether he
trying
wants
to get
admit it or
a
not.
Jamal Williams end of season run here, just as DeAndre Swift's getting healthy. Perfect timing. Next up, we had Nick receiving, myself receiving. Yeah, myself, I received the Eagles D for a 4th round pick and Chase Claypool. Claypool was expiring, but he could be +1 here, so had to send him out. My
I
boy.
didn't even process that you sent him Chase Claypool.
Yeah, my boy.
I thought it was just a 4th round
I had
pick.
to clear up a spot on the roster, so I had to get a little bit of
But as Morgan said, no more. He's not a Steelers wide receiver. You don't want.
I don't. I'm not interested in non-Steelers wide receivers. Deontay Foreman goes to Atwell for a 3rd, and Dalton Schultz goes
on a bye this
to
week.
Will goes to Morgan for a 3rd. Dalton Schultz on a 2-year gets sent away. Will, I hope you realize that you do have to face Dalton Schultz presumably for the next 2 years regularly. All right, fair enough.
Listen, whatever.
Or I could get a second tight end from Morgan if she wants to trade him at the end of the season.
Doesn't Morgan
Also,
have
Morgan,
someone
remember,
hurt?
Morgan, we're gonna do
She's got
Tyreek for
Goddard.
CD Lamb. Remember?
She's got Goddard. I don't know.
Does she still have Goddard?
Yeah, I think so. So that's the trades. Lots of trades at the deadline. Love a good trade deadline hustle
Like
here.
a good trade deadline.
That was sick. We had
Is that
6. I
all?
think we had 6. Yeah, that was all of them. That's all the ones I have. That was 6
Okay.
total for for the end of the season here for the last day there, which is pretty freaking cool, guys.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. Let's get into the scores of the week, and let's start with one of the people that we're talking to right now. Will Ferraro, would you like to discuss what happened this week?
This is such a stupid game that we play. I am so sad about the 16 guys that I have never met before and probably never will that I roster on my
Probably never gonna beat them.
make me so sad. But the person that makes me the most sad isn't on my team. He's the guy that I've been badmouthing all year. Miles Sanders
Go Birds.
has.
Well,
ruined my
Will,
life.
as we've learned, Phil Swiss has a tendency to beat anybody who badmouths him. Did you have to do any shit talking to Brian and Jeff?
No, I didn't do any shit talking. I didn't do anything. We didn't even
I-
have a podcast for me to talk shit on them last
I feel
week.
so bad.
And then Miles Sanders comes out and drops 30 on Monday Night Football and effectively ends my season.
I feel terrible
sad.
because I had a hand in that. I was going to get Miles Sanders for 2 seconds, but I didn't execute the trade quick enough.
That's not.
So I'm sorry.
I mean, would have been
Well,
fine.
you wouldn't have had to play him.
I know, I get it, but you know,
All right, let's walk through it.
he's won
here.
3 in a row. They have a chance at making the playoffs.
They really do.
Holy shit,
It's
I didn't
pretty
even
freaky.
think about that.
Justin Herbert with 30, ETN with an egg, Sanders with 30, Higgins with
ETN got hurt.
20. Oh yeah, he did get hurt. Yeah, he might make it. They said he might make it back though.
They said he's good to go for this week, though.
I
That's
think he's
great.
been practicing.
Davis
yeah.
with 6, Njoku with 11, Hopkins with 16. That $25 Njoku pickup coming through real clutch here. I think that was the most expensive acquisition of the year, and
No, I picked up
No.
Elijah Mitchell for 30 something.
Fair enough. All right, that was probably number 2 then. Will side here, we got Joe Burrow with 18, Chubb with 19, Deonta Foreman with 11, 23 from Amon-Ra, the new franchisee, Sutton 10, Schultz 17. Really selling high here on the Schultz business. I love that for you, buddy. Love that for you. And
You gotta sell high. That's the number one rule of stocks and
I
fantasy.
didn't realize you were selling Schultz for a third. I probably would have done that for you.
I tried, and I didn't need a tight end, according to William Ferraro.
No,
so.
you don't need a tight end.
Don't need
You
a
only
tight end.
one
We're
tight end.
trying to help you, Aaron.
I
We're
need-
trying to help you.
It's like a fix I can't kick. I need a third tight end on my
I need
team.
a third tight end.
This is an
Any more
intervention.
tight ends?
You don't need any more tight ends.
Well,
Any more
Evan
tight
Ingram is obsolete, and Freiermuth leaves the end of the season. So
Nah.
you guys, I don't have a tight end next year.
There's
Mic
going to be
drop.
several in the draft, I'm sure.
Anyway, moving on. There's another great game that happened in the East. Captain Kelsey mired in mediocrity, 98-95. Real close game. Sarah pulling out the stops to curb Mr. Austin from making a clean break for the playoffs.
That's
Again,
Steelers
Monday night.
defense.
A Monday night heartbreak. Steelers defense put up 12.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She
Tough
needed 8
to-
from
tough
them
to do that.
on Monday
Tough
night.
to
There
do
was no
that.
one else going.
15 from DJ, Daniel Jones, 15 from Metcalf, 14 from Lockett, the 13 from Kelsey, 18 from Moore, 12 from the Steelers D. On Austin's side of the ball, we got 18 from Brady, 19 from Eckler, 12 from Hawkinson, 13 from the Chiefs D. So actually comparable
4 from
defenses.
Kamara.
Yeah, and 4 from Kamara. That probably would have done it. Just a
3.4
little bit more
from
love from
Lazard.
Kamara there. That probably would have done it. But what are you gonna do? Sarah obviously not in playoff contention, but definitely threw a couple of wrenches in for Austin here. Now
Yeah.
puts some must
Well,
wins
here's
in
a little
Austin's
spoiler.
schedule.
But I just want to say that Nick, from the beginning of the season, predicting Sarah making the playoffs, big time kiss of death.
Yeah. What
Wait, Nick, was that you?
that was my like super hot take was
Those
that
are bold
if-
predictions at the beginning of the season.
my bold prediction was, but here's the funny part about the bold prediction was it was that if the Seahawks played well and DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett played well, she would make the playoffs. Then they proceeded to
They
play
have been.
really well, and that nothing happened. So I'm just
Well,
It's
Bad
the
got-
other Javonte
Williams got hurt and
And
Melvin
Rashad.
Gordon got cut.
Yeah.
And she's redshirting James Cook, who has been good, but she isn't playing him this week, this year.
yeah. That's actually funny. I didn't even think about the Javonte Williams. If he had stuck around, she might
If he
have
had
snuck
stayed
in.
healthy, she
Yeah.
might have.
She
Yeah.
has a
Snuck in
good
there.
team going forward for next year, I believe. Unfortunately, she
lost
does
a couple
lose
close
DJ Moore,
games.
I think.
Yeah. DJ Moore is
But
out.
going forward for next year, I think that she's got some good players, and I'm looking up
yeah.
next year.
Yeah.
Austin acquires Tua, so
Got a great
he's gonna have
receiver.
he's gonna have Tua and Brady down the stretch here.
Two
not
of the
bad.
3 Florida quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's big on Florida quarterbackers. Let's keep it going
Florida
in the
man.
East here. Let's keep it in the East here. And FA My Goddard and Strong Island. Let's have a minute to talk about Morgan. I haven't been able to talk about Morgan for the last 2 weeks here. I trashed Morgan's team at the beginning of the season, fell in love with the 2 receivers, and I'm back in the trash department, buddy. Getting right back into the trash here. I got nothing. Morgan, I don't think she's put up over 90 points in the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I don't have it in front of me, but looking awfully vulnerable for somebody sitting so high atop the East there, man. It's pretty, God bless the East. Y'all have a really real close, fun division to play in. Might not be fun when you lose. I'm sorry, but that's the truth of
It depends when you ask me if it's
Yeah.
fun or not.
Zach Wilson starting for David.
Morgan.
If he had
Yeah,
started,
she's had 3 tough weeks in a row, Morgan.
Yeah.
74, 51, and 80.
Yeah.
But I believe she's 2-3 in those 3
Mhm.
weeks.
yeah, 2
The
and
2
1.
and
Yeah.
1, I mean, excuse me.
No doubt, but to me that's more luck than skill.
Well,
So
listen,
she should be
this-
she should be in the next. It is luck. That's the game.
This game is luck. Like, this game is at least 65% luck.
Luck retired a few years ago. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
If Zach Wilson with the start, we're gonna work on our anti-tanking measures. We can talk about that in the James Lombardi game. Patrick Mahomes, if he had started there, actually wouldn't have made the difference there. So this game actually
Mahomes had a tough game.
yeah, it was well. The Rams stink though. I don't know.
He did. I will say though, he did flex George Kittle, whereas if he had put George
But you can't
Kittle
make
in
people.
the tight end.
You of all people can't talk about starting two tight ends.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying though, if we're gonna talk about the goose eggs, he could have swapped George Kittle in, and then
now we're getting into
we're
getting into coaching decisions, and that's I don't like to play that game. That's to me that's
I'll stop that.
That's
game
all
then.
fair. That's
we'll
all
talk.
fair.
We'll talk about it in the Lombardi game. It's more relevant there.
Let's move to the Lombardi game since this is it is relevant here. Tyquan Thornton, who I have to say also did get some points in last night's game too. He started
he got 4 points.
He got 4 points. He's still a rookie, a highly touted rookie wide receiver for I guess they don't really throw the ball, so who the fuck
they don't throw the ball. He's the 5th wide receiver on the depth chart on a team.
Did you see that? Did you see that GIF or the video of Mac Jones? He's like mouthing. He's like, stop running the ball. He's like, the run game. He goes, throw the fucking ball. Run
Mac
game
Jones
sucks.
says that?
Yeah, and it's him mouthing it. It's like
to who?
Oh yeah.
They
He was
caught
yelling at.
Yeah,
it was last night. I didn't see it, but I read about it. He was yelling at the offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
bad. It's
like, dude, throw the ball just once.
Right. They don't trust him, and they probably shouldn't. He's not very good.
He's a baby, though. Come on.
James Lombardi, the absolute best to ever do it in terms of tanking, managed to completely upset the apple cart here with this game, starting Tyquan Thornton while leaving Christian Watson, a streaking Ramondre Stevenson and Chris Godwin. I'm not even going to talk about Chris Godwin because honestly, he's starting to heat up now, but he's been a spotty play all year. We can talk about Ramondre. Ramondre is really where the problem comes in here, where it's to sit somebody playing like that is just not.
And Christian Watson.
It's not cool. Yeah, but Christian Watson's still a rookie. You know what I mean? Like Ramondre is a sure thing. I'm pretty sure he's undroppable at this point. Like he's like that.
Ramondre is the top 10 receiver running back on the year. I think.
Yeah, he's one of the best in the league
in terms of scoring. Yeah,
I haven't
anyway
even paid attention.
The solution, I believe, that is best that doesn't get into coaching someone else's team is to go with optimal points.
Mm-hmm.
So that would mean, regardless of who you start or sit, you rank everyone by the total number of points they could have scored. And over the course of the season, you add that up, and the lowest optimum points on the year gets the first pick. And then we go backwards from there. We can add it to the algorithm. We can do something with that. But I think taking wins out of the equation is the best option because we need to you should be playing your best lineup every week. You shouldn't be sitting people who obviously are not.
Agreed. And the only question I have about that too is where does the red shirt? The only thing we kind of have to decide is where does the red shirt come into play here? So like, is Kenny Walker going to count towards his points for, or for the optimal points for? That's the only decision I think we got to make.
We could discuss that, but I think probably because I think it is it's a strategic decision to.
It is a strategic decision, and it doesn't change the fact that theoretically you would have him next year. You know what I mean? So in terms of relative draft positioning for the next season, it's like, yeah, you're gonna have him. So
it's a decision that you're making, and that should factor into your decision to redshirt someone.
Yeah, there's pluses and minuses to any of those contract decisions.
But also, it's not because I think in this case it would only have caught it adds. I don't even think it adds anything.
Well, if he had played Kenneth Walker's a running back.
I'm not talking about this week. I'm talking about all those other weeks where Walker was popping off.
I know.
This week this is a weird week. I'm sorry that the shrapnel came for your team, Will, here. Battle of Algier steals a win here. Just 105. I shouldn't even say steal. He put up a decent week here.
Yeah, good week.
25 from Murray.
In the top half.
12 from Montgomery, 25 from JJ, 10 from AJ. Just team shows up despite the goose egg from Gesicki. A solid overall week for Atwell, back in contention, and sitting pretty at number 2 there with more
Was he ever
points.
out of contention?
He's-
He was going in and out with Will and Phil Swift.
He
It's kind of floating
he had a
around there.
rough start.
Yeah,
He lost a couple games in a row in the beginning of the season.
yeah.
But he is not out of the division either. We'll
No.
talk about that when we get to clinching scenarios.
No, Morgan slipping fast. Getting to my games, talking about clinching scenarios. I guess it's not clinching. This is just more West talk. 91-73, myself over Squid. Basically bouncing Squid from contention. We'll get into that later. Prescott with 15, 17 from Jones, 11 from Devontae, 17 from Diggs.
6.9 from McCaffrey.
Nice. And Squid with
That wasn't planned, I
16
promise.
from Tua, 17 from JT, Barkley with 13, Pittman with 15, and then
The goose from Jock
Goose from
Stoll.
Stoll. Yeah, a lot of gooses at the tight end position stinks this year. I think statistically this is
Dude,
like the most
tight
down
end
year
is
from
so
tight end.
bad.
This season
Especially
in
with
particular.
the injury to Kittle and Waller, that like don't.
Yeah,
that-
it's like
that
you get rid of
just-
those like nice middle,
Yeah.
those guys in the middle who'd been consistently booing that position for the past couple seasons.
Like
And
Darren
even-
Waller
even-
played 5 games and he didn't do well in those 5 games either.
Yeah.
Normally, the
one
middle
touchdown.
guys are not good. Like
No.
the top like 3 are excellent always, and then the others are bad.
Yeah. Not even getting into Kyle Pitts with that whole situation down there.
That's
Oh yeah, Kyle Pitts also is injured
He's-
too
he's-
now. Like,
he's a
this
but no,
is-
but that he stunk the entire season. It's bad year for tight ends overall.
yeah.
That's
Good
why I've been
year for
writing the
Kelsey,
Dawson Knox.
Good year for Andrews.
Yeah, always. Kelsey is probably the best player in the league, arguably. I don't even think it's arguable at this point. He legitimately is the best
Player or
The-
tight end?
Player,
period?
because it's the positional advantage. It's you get to start. You get a locked in 15 points at a position where most people are putting up 0 to 5
Zero, yeah.
points. It's a
Yeah.
positional advantage.
You get a
that
third
no one's
receiver
gonna
where
overcome.
everyone else gets
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
So I jump ahead here with 8-4 record, basically bouncing Squid here.
I kind of wish for
yeah.
playoff picture that it was opposite.
Well, too bad. Moving on. Rockville Bottoms, Return of the King. Aaron with an absolute demolishing, doubling up on Rockville Bottoms here. That's not a surprise, especially.
I didn't have Jamal Williams yet though.
No,
But see,
but you still had a great week.
my
Derek Carr
team
with
felt
20,
better.
Connor with 20, Henry with 13, CD with 14, Latavius with 10, 20 from the Miami defense, 14 from
and I got
Tucker.
them for free. Nobody picked them up. I picked them up on their buy.
She picked them up Monday morning.
Yeah.
Before, which is that's a David move. Which say what you will about David's transactions.
Listen,
but
that's
it's a
playing the
pro
game,
move.
man.
It's a
That's
real
what you
pro
gotta do.
move.
They were on bye and
yeah.
you were done. You had an extra spot. Yeah, absolutely pick them up against the Texans.
Zach starts Ty Johnson, who gets some play after the all the business going on in the Jets locker room.
What's
10
going
from
on with the
Jamal
Jets running back
Williams.
locker room?
Russell Wilson continues to be in danger permanently. Danger. And yeah, just a great week from Aaron, who needed to.
Nick, I loved
What's
the thing you sent me about Russell Wilson being on pace to throw for fewer touchdowns than he has bathrooms in his house.
Oh yeah, somebody's been
Wait,
keeping.
what?
He has 12 bathrooms in his house, and he's on pace right now to I think hit like 11 or like 10 touchdowns in the season, which is
He's got 8
insane.
right now.
He's got 8.
He's got 8 through week 13, 12, whatever we're at.
And that's passing touchdowns. That's not like
Passing
handing the
touchdowns,
ball
yeah.
to someone and then they run
Passing
it in.
No, just passing
That's just
touchdowns.
passing touchdowns. Okay.
Yeah, he stinks. He stinks.
Yeah.
He stinks.
He gets paid a lot of money to stink.
The
though.
one thing I'll say is next year they're going to bounce that offensive coordinator. He's nursing some injuries, but he stinks. He doesn't look like he used to. Who knows what will happen next year?
He came back too soon from that thumb injury.
Aaron needed to win this game. Aaron continues to need to win games, and with a score of 125, which is, I think, the highest
The
score.
second highest.
the second
score
highest score.
after-
Second.
I'm always. She's gonna keep on riding those high scores. Good for you, Aaron. Good job.
You're on a nice run recently.
Yeah, she
Thank
really
you.
is.
Until these last 2 weeks where I play
Well,
your
it's
boys
tough.
Adam
Listen.
and Austin.
I've been saying said it a long time. This game is a dumb game we play. So yeah, it's real dumb.
man.
And yet we let it affect our emotions.
Yes.
I'm a stone.
Maybe we're dumb. Maybe that says more about us than
I think you're right. I think you are Correct.
Right on the money with
So
that.
let's move on.
All right. So lastly, the pretty crucial game in the West. Pounder basically locking down the division in so few words, topping Lee in this game 129-86.
Top score
Pounders.
of the week again.
Yep, it's the and
I was off by 4
and once again,
points.
thank you, Will, for sending him the starting running back for the Cincinnati Bengals. Thanks again for that, buddy.
So good running back.
You're welcome. You're
Yeah,
welcome.
his team is
Happy to
stacked.
do it.
His
Happy
team is
to
so
do it.
stacked, and now with Keenan
And
Allen
you
coming
didn't-
back, it's
you
like
weaken him. You didn't even like take anybody from him either. William, Joseph, Ferraro.
anyway. Josh Allen with 30. Oh my god, 30 fucking points from Josh Allen.
Did you see Josh?
11 from Wilson, 13 from Keenan Allen, 45 from Josh Jacobs. And then on the Lee side, we got 30 from Jalen Hurts, who's sick. Love Jalen Hurts. 10 from Najee, 16 from AJ Dillon. 86 points for Lee. Not that bad overall. Just not enough to do
Not
much.
enough to beat 130.
Yeah.
Nobody had enough to
Team
beat
Pellner
130.
is on a mission from God to destroy
They're
everyone.
ruthless over there.
Yeah.
They're savage.
It's pretty terrible. And Adam's also winning the other league I played him with, which is just
Is
like,
he actually winning?
I think
Is
he's
he
like
just
number 2
doing
in the
well?
league. So it's like he's just good at fantasy football and I hate it.
He's really good at fantasy football.
You know
And
who's
he's
really
like-
bad at fantasy football is
Well,
Dan Pellner is really bad.
really?
Yeah, we beat Dan. We beat Dan in the other league last week, actually, or 2 weeks ago, which was an awesome. We weren't expecting that. That was only our second win of the year. We're pretty terrible in that league. Getting
We're
back,
very terrible. We are like James Lombardi bad.
back onto the bi-coastal train here. Yeah, Team Pellner here, 10 wins. 10 is usually the magic number to win a division, or 10 or 11 is kind of the magic number to win the division.
Hence why I was trying to engage in some open collusion.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Will,
Don't worry, it
any
is
commentary on absolutely destroying the power balance in the West?
Was there ever really a power balance in the West? It seemed like he kind of had it in the bag from the get-go.
Yeah, but it was waning. It was waning. He was losing Pollard at the end of the season, theoretically. He was losing Pollard or Debo at the end of the season, and Zeke
He
was
still is.
aging out. He still is, and that he's since been like what is he, like a 25-year-old starting running back? Jesus Christ.
Joe Mixon is like 12 plus 20. Wait, no. Joe Mixon is old. You've had him since the first season.
No, I
No.
traded for him last year.
He was on Phil
No, but I
Slick's
mean,
team
he's been in the league since the
since
beginning.
2018. Really? I
Yeah,
actually don't know how.
He's
old
old.
2018 was
Mixon
his
is.
first year, I think.
He's not young.
Oh, so then
He's not
he's.
youthful. He's turning the corner soon as well.
I'm gonna nail it here. I bet he's 25.
He's 26.
That was close. Anyway.
I said 12.
Yes, 12 was not the correct answer. The Patriots D only 1 point here. Thank God they seem to be waning because God knows after that 17,
They got 3 points this week against Buffalo too.
26 and 17 points from them in back-to-back weeks, minus the bye there. Yeah, just not great, Chief. Yeah, Lee needs to win out. Or not win out. We just need Aaron to lose essentially, which might happen.
Lee needs to beat Will, and you need to. And
We're gonna
you
get
need-
to that.
yeah.
We'll get into it. We got a whole.
got a
I got
whole
them all
section.
written out.
He's got it.
Look at you.
So that's the scores for the week. Thanks for listening to us ramble on. Very interesting week, all things considered. Let's go through the waivers real quick here. It actually was a pretty important waiver week.
Not a lot though. Not a lot happened.
No, but going
This
into
trade
the
deadline.
trade deadline, it is relative.
Mhm.
Austin overpays for the Seahawks D. Relatively speaking, they've got 2 great matchups here, back to back, which is great. I was going for them myself despite picking up the Eagles. Mariota goes for 6 to Algier. Jalen Warren for 3 to Strong Island. Great pickup. One of those ones that'll pay off in the offseason if he holds on to him. And Akins for $2 from Squid. Yeah, just
Yeah, not a bad.
nothing too
just a quick-
crazy.
And if we
Nothing too
go
crazy. And I got Ty Davis Price backing up for CMC. Looking at the money left over. Aaron's got $7. I've got $16. Just about everybody else is in the $40 to $60 range.
Maher has 36.
Maher with 36. So Aaron and I are apparently the only ones who like to spend money.
I was under the impression you can't take it with you, and I believe that is the correct impression.
That is the correct.
You definitely
impression.
can't.
Like
but I
Sarah, who
do-
has $90, won't get $190 next year.
Correct.
No, certainly
It'll
not.
just reset to 100.
Just a reset to 100. Yes.
There is
So-
something to be said about holding on to your money for the playoffs or whatever bullshit.
Yeah,
Slips
you
through
do
the
need it
cracks.
for the playoffs, but
Yeah, but some of us have to make it to the playoffs first.
right.
Notice how it's literally me and Aaron who are vying for the bottom spot in the West, who have zero,
The
almost
bottom
no money left.
spot. I don't know about
Right.
you, Nick, but I'm going for the top spot.
Yeah. Well, statistically, that's
Adam Pellman.
incorrect.
It's impossible. You are mathematically eliminated from the Western Division title. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Lee is actually the only one who could win the West, and that's if
I
Adam
guess
drops
actually
2 in
that's a
row.
good segue.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's the only way that happens.
Wait,
It's as good a segue
wait.
as any.
So you just told me I'm out. So should I even try to
That's
win
not
the
what we
next?
said.
What did
No,
what did
no.
you say?
No, you can't win the division.
Oh, I thought you said like I can't win the title, like the championship.
Oh
I
no, you
was
win the
like-
championship.
I'll tear through the
Thank
power
you.
rankings real quick here. Nothing
sure.
too crazy. It just kind of moved around here. Zach at 14, Sarah 13, James at 12, David at 11, Lisenski at 10. Will, I dropped you down to 9. Brian and Jeff went up to 8. Atwell 7, Lipsy to 6. Morgan, I had to drop you down, Morgan. I don't like your team right now. I don't like how they're playing. I'm sorry. You're 5th. I do love your receivers, but Austin at 4, despite losing. I just think with Kamara there, he's going to have a hot streak going into this end run here. Lee at 3, been underperforming. Myself at 2, just been playing pretty well. And Pellner, the undisputed number 1. That's it. Well, what do you got?
Yeah, it's about right. So I got Lombardi at the bottom, 14, Zach at 13. David fell 4 spots to 12. Sarah moved up a spot to 11. Lisenski moved up a spot to 10. I fell 3 spots to 9. Austin fell a spot to 8. Jeff and Brian moved up 3 to number 7. Morgan is number 6, but she fell 4 spots from number 2.
You ranked her even lower than I did. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Team Lipsy moved up 3. She's number 5.
Wow.
Matt is number 4, moved up 3. Also, Nick is number 3, moved up 2. Lee moved up 1, and Pellner is still at the top because why would he?
Because he's got Joe Mixon.
Mhm.
Aaron, you want to go for us here?
Yeah. I've got James at 14. He lost the toilet bowl, but I have a very hot take that he will win next season.
It's a freezing cold take.
And then
Or boiling hot.
and then we've got Zach at 13. He won the toilet bowl, but he gave me Jamal Williams, so not gonna do well. ROS. Sarah stayed the same. I have no comment about that. David moved. I didn't keep track of where they all moved from, but David moved down because tank. That's a spin-off of tick. Squid did move down. He was doing better, but it's too little too late. Will, you moved down to 9. I believe we all ranked you at 9. I said, sorry, pal, you should have
That is
given me
fine.
Mixon.
That's just the clear number 9 in the league.
So clearly mediocre.
And then I put Jeff and Brian at number 8 and go Birds. I put me down at 7. You guys both ranked me higher. Thank you so much. But I've got very hard matchups the next 2 weeks.
She does.
And thank you though. My points for are popping off. Austin is number 6. I do like Matt's team slightly better. And I'll see you next week, Austin. Morgan dropped down to 5. She lost to Squid, which is saying a lot. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Morgan. You did beat David, but he is tanking, and you play your husband this week, so that's going to be a fun matchup. Right next to her is Matt Atwell at number 4. He plays his wife this week. I'm interested to see what happens. The top 3 has to be exclusively West Coast. I'm sorry, this is my bias. Lee is number 3. That's it. It hurts.
West Coast bias in the media.
West
West Coast bias in the
Coast
media,
bias.
folks.
Lee has started to hurt less, but he still hurts a lot. Nick, you got to go somewhere. You're number 2. There's nowhere else for you to go. And
Sorry.
I don't like that you're number 2, but I don't hate it either. And then Adam is the de facto number 1.
It's just so good. Yep. That's it for the power rankings. Look ahead in the hunt, basically the same thing this week. because it's all relative. Will, you're you're the keeper of the stats here. What would you like to tell us a
I
little
got
bit
some
about what's going
clinching
on?
scenarios. Well,
Oh,
with
baby.
2 weeks to go, they get pretty simple.
Yeah,
We'll start in the
exactly.
West. Pelner, with 2 games up, with 2 games to play, clinches his 3rd straight Western Division with a win over your boy, who is real bad. So congratulations to Pelner.
You
Wins the
sold my
split
buy
again.
for Joe Mixon. You sold my buy for
But
Jupers.
Lee is not out because if he wins out and Pelner loses just one, Lee would finish above him anyway. Lee and Nick both clinched a playoff spot, not the division, obviously. They just a playoff spot with a win and a Lipsy loss. Obviously, Lipsy needs to keep winning to be in still. Sorry.
And someone has very hard.
And then, Will, have you
end
looked
the
ahead?
season.
Here's what makes it all the more interesting is, have you looked ahead for next week? It's me versus Lee for the last game of the season.
Ooh,
And me versus
fun.
Austin.
And
Spicy.
Aaron versus Austin. So
All right.
literally,
So
if Aaron wins, it's basically all on the line in the final week for the West.
That's exciting. It's exciting.
It's
Spicy,
not exciting.
stuff.
It is terrifying, and
So
I don't like it.
West Coast Spice is next week.
And 2 of the West Coast Spice cohabitate together.
This week.
Yeah,
East Coast.
The East Coast Spice is in fact this week.
East Coast Spice is this week. Morgan similarly clinches the Eastern title with a win. She plays Matt, who is still alive for the Eastern title because he's got her on points. So he needs anyway. The East is still in the air after this week. Should be, unless Morgan wins, obviously. And then Matt and Austin both clinch a playoff spot with a win and a loss from Jeff and Brian. Austin plays Jeff and Brian this week. Spicy.
Will,
Spicy.
I think maybe you were just getting
Are
there,
you?
I think you failed to mention my
Are
favorite.
You being mean right now?
My favorite team. There's another team who's still technically in the running here.
You are being mean right now. It's me. I'm still technically alive. I need a lot of help. Please count me out.
Help, buddy.
Please count me out. Please. Technically, I can still make it. I need Jeff and Brian to lose. Both, I think. No, because I need
you
need Brian. I need Jeff and Brian to go 1-1, and I need Matt and Austin to both lose.
Lose out.
I'm sorry.
I think maybe just one or the other.
Really try. I'll try.
Yeah, no, I need them both. I'm out.
It's very unlikely, but it is still possible. And do you know why it's still possible? It's because you had those points for nice and high. Keep them nice and high, buddy.
Elias Sports Brewer puts my playoff chances at a healthy 2%.
Hey, it's better than 1. Better than 1%. Even better than 0% too. Well, buddy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm so sad.
Yeah, it's a pretty sad life we live. It's a pretty dumb sport we play. Yeah. And I think that's about it for the week. Does anybody have any closing thoughts? Or
I have a good bye week against Austin. I'm looking now. He's got Gibson, Lazard, and Kamara all on buys. So that means his running back room is Eckler and Mostert.
You heard it here, folks.
You're already looking ahead to week 14.
Yes, because week 13 has already started, and Josh Allen got 16 points.
That's not terrible.
And the defense got 3 points.
16 Allen is manageable.
That's
weeks you have a chance to win.
He's
I'm
only
give you a word of advice. If you stress out about week 13 and 14 simultaneously, you'll go insane. You got to pick one.
I mean, I'm already there.
That's why I've been playing for week 15 the entire season.
Yeah, great.
Really quickly, the first time I played Adam, I believe Josh Allen also had a Thursday night football game because I believe that was week 1. where it was the Bills versus the Rams. And in that game, he gave me a pretty bad deficit. That was a 35-point deficit. This week it was a 16.92 plus 3. So it's a 19-point deficit. I'm feeling
A 16-point week from Allen.
scared,
Those are the weeks.
like, okay, but like this isn't about me. This is about Adam being good at fantasy football. And how do we get him to be bad at it?
Yeah, well, we don't trade him Joe Mixon.
Listen, I am just receiving a notification that Joe Mixon is still in the concussion protocol.
I saw that too, but he's practiced, so
Yeah, you know when he'll be out of concussion protocol, Will? By week 16.
Yeah, he will.
When he runs away with the league for a third straight season. And
I'll be out by then. That doesn't affect me.
What do we do to curb? How do we curb Pelner?
I guess the question there's two measures. There's the anti-tanking measures, and then there's the how do we not make a team be too good measure. Is there any way to like stop a team from being like OP?
Yes. You know how you do that? Is you could have traded me 3 first-round picks for Joe.
I don't have those. I don't even have one.
Thanks for watching, folks. Good luck this week in the playoffs. Keep your first round picks.
Not the playoffs yet. It's not the playoffs yet.
It feels like the playoffs.
You know what?
It's the playoffs. It's the playoffs for you, Aaron. You're right.
Yeah, the playoffs. Playoffs is relative.
Winner go home.
It's relative.
It's so hard to come back from being the worst team in the league for 3 years running. I was one of the worst. I was the bottom 3.
All right, relax.
So, I gotta do this.
All right, thanks everybody. Have a great week. Enjoy football.